Oh, there you are. Hi. Welcome. It's Mountain Views. I'm Terry. It's Park City Television. It's live, or as they say south of the border, en vivo. It's an exciting thing about doing live television is that it's live. I think that was redundant. I'm not sure. Welcome. It's still November. The presidential election is still over. Isn't that awesome? I have to say I'm certainly concerned about the future of our country, but I'm also very pleased that we just don't have to. What do? You weep and wail, you gnash your teeth, all of that stuff. There was so much of it going on before the election that all I can say is, I gotta go see my dentist, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. In any case, we've got some snow on the ground. That is great news, and it's great to be with you once again. We're gonna be super arty on the show tonight. I love to do that. Wonderful people in the house talking about the world of the left brain. It's all about creativity. Wait, is it left brain or right brain? Right brain. I always get it backwards. I don't know. Why don't they have it the same in your brain as it is on the political spectrum? Like if it's floofy and fluffy, it's left, and if it's really conservative and analytical, it's right. But it's completely the opposite. In any case, let's take a look at what is really floofy and fluffy, and that is the news of the world today. You know, I love, especially after a big election is over like this, how light the news becomes. For example, today, Barack Obama spoke on the telephone with leaders who hailed his re-election, including Vladimir Putin. That's it. That's the whole story. Top of the line on Google News. Seriously, they love each other. Obama is happy that Putin goes hunting with no shirt on and that he supports Barack Obama. That's pretty much the whole story. I guess maybe that's good news, is that there's not more pressing concerns in the world, except for, of course, we're hearing now that dunzo is the word with respect to Hillary Clinton. She has said, as they say in Rome, basta. I've had enough of being Secretary of State, and soon she will be stepping down from that position. This is known, this has been planned, even if it hasn't been publicized. The interesting thing to me about this particular story, aside from the fact that I think Hillary Clinton's worked pretty hard, and I think she deserves a break today. Maybe not at McDonald's, but with some exercise, good rest, you know, get out of the pantsuit for a while. You don't have to wear the pantsuit. Good for you. Nice job, Hillary. Here's the thing. The leading candidate to replace Hillary Clinton for Secretary of State just goes to show, if you want to be Secretary of State, you better be a woman. Hello, Madeleine Albright. Hello, Hillary Clinton. And it doesn't hurt if your last name is Rice. Condoleezza's not coming back, but Susan Rice, who's a UN ambassador, is reported to be the front runner to be appointed by President Barack Obama to the leading position of statecraft in the United States government. Interestingly enough, she has been, as they say, somewhat tarred by Benghazi Gate, as though she had some specific involvement in that particular tragedy involving our folks on the ground there in Benghazi, Libya. The interesting thing to me about the last part of that story is, why does it have to be Benghazi Gate? Can't it just be that there was a terrible tragedy that involved the loss of human life that happened in Benghazi? Does it have to have gate on the end? If it's bad, does it have to have gate? I guess the obvious answer is yes, because that's what the news media wants. So we're all going to call it Benghazi Gate, even though that seems a little long and unwieldy to me. In any case, Susan Rice will have to stay tuned and see if, in her confirmation hearings, she's able to slide to the side of responsibility for that particular horrible tragedy and is able to be confirmed as the next female Secretary of State named Rice. Whew, David Petraeus. Tough week, buddy. This plot only thickens. So without a telestrator or a PowerPoint, I'm going to see if I can get there's only 4 players in this particular story, but David Petraeus is close with Jill Kelly, who's a Tampa socialite, and David Petraeus has had a confirmed affair with his biographer, Paula Broadwell, but it turns out that David Petraeus' replacement as the head of combat forces in Afghanistan, General John Allen, has 20,000 pages of emails with Jill Kelly. So Jill Kelly's really friendly with 2 big military guys, even though she has no job whatsoever, other than socialite, if you think socialite is a job. But man, oh man, it turns out that there is going to be a congressional inquiry into the potential wrongdoing that General John Allen may have engaged in, whether it be inappropriate communications of a sexual nature or of a nature of national security. That's a lot. I mean, if you can get national security and sex in the same conversation, wow, I think you at least deserve to be docked in your pay, if not relieved of your position. Whether or not John Allen will survive this particular scandal that he's now been pulled into, we'll have to see. One thing's for sure, given that his predecessor, David Petraeus, has basically had his career ruined by Joe Kelly and or Paula Broadwell, I think the maxim and the thing to take away from this particular story is, if you are in any position of responsibility and you are a male, be conscious that the dalliance thing is really bad personally, for your family, and also for your career. So don't do it, okay? I'm so glad we had this talk. Janeane Garofalo has been married for 20 years, only she didn't know it. Turns out that when she went to a drive-through chapel in Las Vegas 20 years ago with comedy writer Rob Cohen, who's got a long resume that includes many fantastic Comedy Central series, and they subsequently broke up, that the fact that they went and got married at a drive-through chapel, even though they didn't get out of their car, they figured that just because they stayed in the car, they weren't actually married. And as it turns out, Rob Cohen tried to get married recently, and they said, no, you can't get married because you're married to Janeane Garofalo. Were you aware of that? And he said, of course, no, I wasn't aware of that. Hi, Janeane, it's Rob. Remember me? We went out 20 years ago and got really drunk in Vegas that one time. And can we get a divorce? And of course, Janeane didn't know what he was talking about, and now it's news. Hence, back to my original point, which is, isn't the news awesome? There is so much important information that's completely salacious, and all you have to do is go to news.google.com and get it all. Finally, I have a confession to make. It's taken 35 years, but I am officially a Rolling Stones fan. I never wanted to play those Rolling Stones songs. When I was in that first band that I was in 9th grade, I'm like, hey man, Van Halen is where it's at. He's the future. I know he's an oldie now, but then he was the future. Rolling Stones, not so much. More of a 60s, early 70s kind of thing. And at the time, it was like the late 70s, and I was ready for 80s music and bad haircuts and day-glow colors, and well, HBO's done it. They have made me a Stones fan. They've put together an hour and 42-minute documentary that is replete with all new interviews, no old sound bites from the legendary rockers who will be going on tour next year to celebrate their 50th anniversary as a group and hopefully close out a live performing career while none of them is using walkers. Word is, advance word, and I've seen the trailer. Looks fantastic. Of course, if you love documentaries, you don't have to go a whole lot further than HBO Films to know that you are getting the highest of quality. Hopefully, we will be seeing this doc out very soon. I think it's actually premiering this Thursday, which reminds me, I better call Comcast and get my HBO back because I've been saving $10 because I'm so frugal like that. But I need to be an oldies guy and just go ahead and give in to the love of the Rolling Stones. Well, it's a beautiful day out there today. Warmer, to be certain. Sunshiny, without a doubt. And as you can see, the skies are clear and really a beautiful view of Main Street. A little bit quiet as we still do find ourselves in shoulder season, if not the shoulder of shoulder season, as we have got an entire spate of ski area openings happening this week, and isn't that exciting? Fortunately for the folks on the Wasatch Front, they were managed to get 50 inches of snow last weekend, which means that no rocks for anybody who's going to be skiing in the Cottonwoods. As for us back here, we'll have to wait and see. Well, it's a little warm and sunny today. I don't know if the guns were going off at PCMR or not, but we're hoping at least at the upper elevations, at canyons, and at... Oh, that's right. I got a little note in my ear, just being reminded that Brighton opened today. That's exciting news. That is the first ski area that we can officially get on. Of course, I know there was a fair amount of hiking in, as they say, taking place last weekend. So folks could get their powder shots even before those ski lifts started to move. In any case, we'll review when the opening days are. Some have been moved up. Some are still a little bit of time to come, pending on more snow and better base. Don't want to ski on the rocks. Avoid that at all costs. In any case, we've got a great show for you tonight. We are going to, as I said, go all artsy. Brittany Golden and Kris Dews are here. They are friends and innately creative people who respectively are making food and stones beautiful. We're going to talk with them about their businesses. And Jennifer Chipman is here from Raw Artists. They've got their big end of season, at least for this particular season anyway, event happening this Thursday down in Salt Lake. We're going to get all of the details on that convergence of the artists, both musical and other forms of artistic media as well in the hour tonight. We're going to take a quick break and we will be right back, kicking it off on a live Mountain Views program right here after this. Please stay tuned.
At Tona's Sushi Bar and Grill, enjoy contemporary Japanese fare using only the freshest fish and truly authentic ingredients. Located at 210 Historic 25th Street in downtown Ogden, Tona provides a big city taste in a friendly, relaxed setting.
A unique combination of restaurant, deli, and gourmet food store. 2-Bit Street Cafe is located at 126 Historic 25th Street in downtown Ogden and is open 7 days a week, including Sundays for brunch. 2-Bit Street also offers catering, takeout, and reservations for private parties.
Professional Bull Riders Touring Pro Division. For even the toughest cowboys, 8 seconds can feel like an eternity. But nothing, not even the rankest bulls, can crush their dreams of making it to the top. Get your tickets today for all the heart-pounding action of the PBR's Touring Pro Division.
Wasatch County PBR, presented by Coors Light, November 24th, 7:30 p.m. at the Wasatch County Event Center. Get your tickets in advance and save $5. Tickets available at Days Market, Flanagan's, Wasatch County Event Center box office, or on the website RockyMountainBullBash.com.
For fastidious librarian Emily Skinner, each day was fueled by thorough preparation for events to come. Well, somewhere along the way, Emily went right on living. But you see, with the help of her Raymond James financial advisor, she had planned for every eventuality, which meant she continued to have the means to live on, even at the ripe old age of 187. Life well planned. See what a Raymond James advisor can do for you.
As promised, it's time to kick off in our arty evening program here on Mountain Views. I'm joined by two ladies who are outstanding superstars in their respective professions. And you may ask yourself as we get into this particular segment, what do food and jewelry have to do with one another? And of course, the answer is easy. Food is cool, and so is jewelry. I'm joined tonight by Brittany Golden of Brittany Golden, and I got to get the name right of your business.
Brittany Golden Studios.
Studios is the word I was looking for. And Kris Dews. Kris, the caterer extraordinaire, thank you for being here, ladies. Nice to have you with us.
It's great to be here.
So really the first introduction for folks is that you and I go way back. We know each other for quite a long time. You suggested that Kris be part of our gathering here simply because she is committed to excellence, as are you, in your craft. So for anybody who's wondering, that's why we have food and jewelry together. So let's start with jewelry and talk a little bit about your background of, everybody has made a little piece of jewelry, whether they be some string and some baubles and
your macaroni
junior
necklace.
High school macaroni.
Exactly.
How did you go from that sort of a, hey, this is cool, this is fun as a youngster, to really making it your life's work?
My journey is long and very, varied. So I will give you the short version. I actually studied it in college and just fell in love with it and didn't intend to do it as a living. But I have taught a lot of things, and so it hit me like a bolt of lightning one day that I love jewelry and I love teaching, so I would love to teach jewelry making. And here I am 10 years later and loving it, love what I do, love beautifying the world with creations that I make, as you can see, and assisting others to create, whether it's a piece of jewelry for themselves or a friend or a mother, or I have a couples wedding ring workshop where couples come and make their wedding bands together. So that has been a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed that.
I would imagine so, and I would imagine from a business standpoint that's certainly very unique. It's not something that I've heard of before, and I would think has a great resonance with folks when the ring is such an important thing, and we can, make stereotypes about how it's important to the woman, but I think nowadays people, guys included, realize more that it is an important symbol for the union, and what a cool thing to really, besides just standing in front of a case looking at finished products, to be able to participate in it.
Mall jewelry, as I call it.
Mall jewelry. I went to the mall and I got mauled.
Yes, you go to the mall and you get yourself a piece of jewelry that's supposed to be special.
Exactly.
No, I'm a fan of mall jewelry myself sometimes, but no, it's fun to see the creative process come alive in people, and they walk in all scared and intimidated and have no creative ability, they think, and walk out just, proud little kids with their jewelry, and they're so excited to share.
Look what I made.
Yes.
Very cool. Well, let's take a quick look here, and if you would, select a couple of pieces that you've got here and tell us a little bit about inspiration and also maybe about kind of what your overall motif is in terms of style.
Well, I've been cutting a lot of my own stones lately, which has been a lot of fun. So I can take any kind of stone and make it whatever kind of shape. Like, I'm going to use these, actually, I brought them as a backdrop, but I just returned from a trip from Scotland, and those are Iona marble, and just absolutely fell madly in love with Iona. So I'm going to take them home and shape them up. I've actually cut pretty much most of these myself. So it's been really fun to just see how it comes out, because it always changes in the process. And so I don't typically start out with something in mind. It kind of just comes to me and develops as it's going along. And so I'll typically do a series. I'll cut a bunch of stones, and then I like to make a set or some sort of series with them. And then I go on to the next chapter whenever inspiration hits again. So
very cool. Well, and I think it's important to distinguish that all of this jewelry is handmade, that you do all of this from scratch, selecting the stones, cutting the stones, polishing the stones, and that in and of itself, I think, really sets you apart from most folks who make jewelry.
Yeah,
because
silversmithing is its own art and talent, so it's a lot of fun that I can claim that as one of my talents, and it's fun because I enjoy teaching my classes where you can actually come and take a silversmithing class, or you can take a cold connection class or casting class, or I have just a 2-hour workshop where you can make a ring, bracelet, or pendant, learn how to set the stone in silver, use the torch, use the tools, get your hands dirty, and it's a lot so
I'm practicing my skills for
your modeling
the Home
skills.
Shopping Network.
We get a lot of this in the studio.
That's right. Maybe a little.
That works for you.
Just maybe. Well, it's certainly beautiful stuff, and I have to say that I feel like, and one of the reasons that I really wanted to have you here is that it feels like, and I'm going to say something that sounds kind of cliche, but like you're kind of breaking down barriers, because so many times beautiful objets that are like this are kind of a black box. It's like, right, you go to the mall, it's in a case, and it was born somehow, and the process of working with all of the stones, the metals, everything like that, and teaching it to others. I mean, are there other folks out there that are doing?
There are very few in Utah, very few, and I'm fortunate enough to be one of them in Utah County. So I think there's only one other person in Utah County. So it's a rare find to find an instructor that's, not to toot my own horn, but capable of all that I can do.
Absolutely, so. from scratch. So, very cool.
Yep.
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm getting a little hungry. We better.
Oh yes.
We better say hi to Kris
and
not make her feel like she's being ignored.
Oh yes,
this
one of my
from
fans.
One of her classes.
Very nice.
Yes.
Oh really?
So I made this under the tutelage here, but from everything, she showed me how to solder it all together, bend the metal, and stick the stones in there, and so, yeah.
Very cool. Beautiful. Nicely played.
Yeah.
All right, well, we got to do a quick commercial and talk to our sponsors. There you are, sponsors. But don't go anywhere, because when we come back, we are going to eat some sashimi grade tuna, and you don't want to miss that on Flavor O Vision Mountain Views on Park City Television. Stay tuned.
Join Burt Brothers' 21st anniversary celebration and get an exclusive instant rebate of up to $50 on 4 select Firestone tires, or up to $70 on 4 select Bridgestone tires. Plus, choose 2 free customer appreciation gifts with any purchase of tires or auto service totaling $500 or more. Now that's a celebration, exclusively at Burt Brothers.
Burt Brothers. Doing it better for 21 years.
Burt Brothers does it better.
Located in the heart of historic 25th Street in Ogden, Brewski's has over 20 beers on tap, as well as a full bar and an amazing staff. For great food and great times, Brewski's is a must-stop destination in Ogden.
Tired of hard water wreaking havoc around your home? Faded and dingy laundry? Dry skin and flat hair? Soap scum and spotted glasses too? All of these problems can disappear with a complete home water system from Connecticut. You'll see the benefits pile up. Only Connecticut guarantees the softest water or your money back. Learn more today with a free in-home water test. Call now, 801-576-8600. Connecticut, the best solution for your hard water.
Yume Boutique, located at 186 Historic 25th Street in downtown Ogden, offers fabulous women's clothing and has a knowledgeable, world-traveled staff on hand to assist you with all your needs.
Jack and Jill's Boutique, located on Historic 25th, offers a friendly, relaxing, and fun atmosphere to shop for men and women's lingerie, intimate products, and adult novelty. Jack and Jill is a one-stop shop for all your needs, from mild to wild, since 1978.
Welcome back. We're moving from jewelry to food. Kris Dews is with us tonight. She is a caterer. Well, she's all over the place. Started out kind of with some focus on Sundance, but of course there's always more to the story than that. So let's do that intro thing. Kris, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Terry.
And tell folks how, I believe you took a little bit of a circuitous route to come to be in the catering business.
Yeah, actually I was in insurance for 20 years. And then kind of had that crisis of I needed something more, and found myself apprenticing as a sushi chef. So by trade, that's what I am, as a sushi chef. And then found that I was kind of too old to be doing that. If I had started when I was 20, I probably could have hung with it. But, 13-hour days, 6 days a week, I said I need to parlay it into something.
Right.
And so some of my customers started asking me to do some private parties for them. And it just kind of snowballed into a culinary business. So catering, I did some culinary instruction for some of the community colleges in Seattle and things like that. So, yeah.
And here you are. How did you get from Seattle to Utah?
Yeah, I kind of, about 4 years ago, I did a drive-about. Kind of nice. I thought it was going to last a year, and it was just going to be around the States, wherever. And it ended up being a couple of years. And during that time, I came through Utah and through Provo, and had met some people here, Brittany being one of them, and spent some time up in Sundance and just fell in love with it. And so each time I'd head back to Seattle and I'd go back around, I'd always make it a trip back through here and stuff. So it's just like something magical about it. It just kept bringing me back.
The universe just pointed you to Utah and to Sundance.
That's right, yeah.
Well, you certainly wouldn't be the first person to be seduced by the charms of Sundance, without a doubt. So how long have you been doing the catering business? Tell us kind of about what your ideal party or your ideal client or that sort of thing is.
Well, for here, I just actually had just started my business here probably about the earlier part of June. And but I have kind of built a clientele through my drive-throughs before. But basically, what I'm looking for is the reason I'm kind of gravitating away from a larger city is to kind of get into more of a community base. And I just love the cohesiveness and the community feel of what it's like on the mountain there. You know, you have all these different aspects of what they call Sundance, and one of them would be the resort,
yes.
you know, which is probably the most recognizable. And then you have a tremendous amount of individuals that they actually reside there that have been there from years before.
True.
And then you have the in-between where you have some privately owned cabins where they're being rented and so forth. And I've had the great fortune to work with some individuals, Vicki Cox and Brad Stewart that own the Stewart Mountain Lodging, where they do a lot of the rentals and things like that. So basically bringing in kind of the Seattle's version of the chef-driven kind of cuisine,
right,
and bring it to a private sector. And so this has been a perfect platform for that. And, you know, and like I said, not just in Sundance, but, you know, and having met some people in Provo and things like that too, so, yeah.
Wonderful. So tell us a little bit about what you've brought along and kind of maybe how it represents
Sure.
the kind of thing that you like to share with people.
Well, you know, I think my main focus is always just very simple. I think if you have really good quality foods, fresh, you know, organic whenever possible, clean, you don't really need a whole lot of seasonings and you don't need a whole lot of garbage stuff on there or dips and things. So what I brought here is a kind of an example of what it is that I like to do. And starting here on this end, we have just a simple seared ahi. And the only thing it has on the outside of it is got a black sesame seed, and then it's just lightly seared. And so it's the nuttiness of the sesame seed that actually gives it that flavor. You don't need any salt. You don't need any additional peppers or anything. And I did put that on a Napa cabbage that just has a ponzu, which is a citrus soy, and fresh ginger. So, and then these here are some fried wontons. So it's fabulous to put some of the Napa and the tuna on the wonton and have it be a kind of a self-serving. You know, it's great texture and flavor. What we have here is just a black wild rice. And a lot of times wild rice can be kind of difficult because it is very tough in texture unless you really cook it.
That's always kind of been my feel about.
And then not enough flavor. So one of the things I like to do is I like to take raw garlic and just burn it, literally burn it, charcoal burn it. And right at that point when you think it can't go anymore, you add the water and the rice, and the flavor that comes through is just tremendous. And it actually helps soften the rice a little bit and all of that. So, and then what we have over here is a blanched spinach. This here is the blanched spinach, and they're in Japanese cuisine is called owatashi, and it's very traditional, like if you go into sushi restaurants and so forth. But I like to use it just as a regular vegetable on a vegetable plate. Right now it has absolutely no seasonings on it whatsoever. It's just been blanched for about 1.5 minutes. And you can actually take things like this here is a freshly dried paprika from one of my friend's gardens. And so the spice of that, you have like a smoked salt, and you can add whatever you want to it, and there's just a blank palate that will just absorb the flavors. It's just fabulous. And then with that is the heirloom tomato, which both of those will absorb the flavors just equally. And then this is the gorgeous heirloom.
That is kind of the star of the show.
I had to show that. It was just extraordinary. And then to end it here, we have just a simple apple here. It's a Pink Lady. And the dip is a non-fat Greek yogurt with agave and fresh lemon. So it is probably the healthiest dessert you're ever going to have, but it just works fabulous either on fruits or on crackers or things like that. So, yeah.
Well, I feel healthier just looking at it. There's no question about it. And there's also no question the ahi is so beautiful that I think we probably better do our last important thing, which is let folks know where they can get more information on the two of you online before we then just eat.
Guess we're